Now, the pandemic hangover continues in our education system. New figures show a dramatic rise in the number of parents refusing to send their children to school. Parents are homeschooling a record 43,000 children across the country, twice as many as back in 2019, pre-pandemic. Let's bring in Clare Rowe, who's a child and adolescent psychologist. Clare, this probably doesn't surprise you, but it would concern you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all, Chris. I think the rise in homeschooling is due to two reasons. First of all, I've said to my colleagues, I say that regularly at the moment, that 2024 will be the year of school refusal. My office is inundated at the moment with calls from parents who cannot get their child out of bed, into the car and to school for various reasons. I don't know how long that we can say that is a COVID issue when we're a couple of years out of COVID. But COVID certainly exposed, I think, the failing inadequacies and failing teaching methods of the school system. And that's been going on for 10 to 15 years. Based on lack of discipline, a move away from evidence-based teaching methods, a filling of the curriculum with woke ideologies. So we've got kids who are just refusing to go to school. Parents are desperate. There's no help for them. The school can't do anything to get them there. And so parents, I'm seeing in a cost of living crisis, they are giving up their jobs and they're staying home to homeschool them. And of course, a second cohort of homeschoolers is saying, we are fed up with the lack of rigour and teaching in the schools, and so we are going to select to keep the children at home because we think we're going to do a better job.
Yeah, and there are still others who sort of want to double down. They want to send their kids to private schools, sometimes add on some private tutoring to really get their kids motoring along. But it's this staying at home stuff that worries me, because there's the direct impact on our school kids that we've talked about a lot during the pandemic and subsequently. And we all know about the great work from home flexibility, but some cases, of course, that's gone too far. So we're creating some households where there's low levels of socialisation, where maybe mum and dad aren't leaving home, kids aren't leaving home. The pandemic has just entrenched these people into a sort of stay-home hermits and expecting the world to be delivered to them.
Yeah, which we know we don't even need to spell that out. That's terrible for your emotional and mental, even physical health. Yeah, look, I think haven't seen the number of parents that I am seeing at the moment who otherwise would be very, very satisfied with a state public education system and are now, in the worst cost of living crisis we've seen in decades, taking on extra jobs to get those kids into a private school or Catholic system. Yep. Because they just say that we just can't send them to the local school anymore. That's an indictment on state education. That's terrible. And the private sector is not there to be able to do that, to carry that bulk of the load of people. We should be providing good free state education for the majority of Australian citizens. So there's that thing. And then, of course, yes, as you said, then we're spending millions and millions a year at the moment who's profiting tutoring companies. I mean, just their revenue's gone through the roof. Yeah. And as you said, we're seeing generational learning now done at home. Parents are on the computer, work from home, and kids are now working permanently from home. Unreal. I'm a bit more worried about the ones that aren't so traditional homeschooling. I know the traditional homeschoolers will, part of their curriculum is to build in socialisation, but it's these ones that are the school refusal. That's the problem.
Exactly. Clare, all over it as ever. Thanks for joining us. Clare Rowe there on the ongoing issues with education and the pandemic fallout.